where they're moving their feet more, we're going to do the circling game. And the circling game relates to how we want to ride our horses. Who's ridden here before? A lot of you guys have had the chance to ride. How many of you have ridden a horse that didn't want to go forward? Okay, so what did you have to do? What did you keep doing? Kept kicking and kicking and kicking, and sometimes you had a crop that you used, so a little riding whip. And what happened then? They went forward, and then did they stop again? And then you had to kick again, and then you had to hit again, and did they go forward? Yes, and then did they stop again? Okay, so what we're teaching our horse with this game called the circling game is when I ask you to go around me in a circle, I'm going to have you continue to go until I ask you to stop. So, Joanne, if you want to maybe get her moving a little bit more so that she's animated, get her going in a trot maybe. And this is so that without having to keep kicking or using the carrot stick to say keep going, Edith knows that she's supposed to stay in the trot until Joanne asked her to not. So she went into the walk, so Joanne re-asked her to go into the trot. Joanne's going to ask her to turn and face her by using her eyes to look at her hindquarters. And so even without having to use her communication with the rope at all, Gita understood the driving game there, and she was willing to then what's called disengage her hindquarters. And look, let's try it the other direction and see how good she is going to the right. Horses need to be worked in both directions because where are their eyes?
Both directions.
On the side of their face. So what kind of animal does this make horses? Are they predators or prey? They're prey animals. And so what does that mean? Yes? Exactly. So that's one of the reasons why horses are kind of scared about quick movement and loud noises, because they're worried about being eaten, even though, fortunately, that's rarely the case in our area. So this is Gita doing a very nice job of the circling game. So should we... Oh.
Spoke too soon.
We'll get Joanne to ask her to turn and disengage.
Good girl.
That's all it took, was just looking at her hind end. Because another horse, if the other horse is just trying to run away, but delightfully, Gita just says, oh, Joanne asked me to walk across it, and so that's what I'm going to do. And now she's taking the driving game and the circling game, and she's turning it into the squeeze game. So she's leading Gita across an obstacle, and she's just saying, go forward until I ask you to turn and disengage and look at me, and now go back over that obstacle. So now let's see if we can do that over the green jump. I think we can.
Good girl.
Because the way we have established the communication, if Joanne says, Gita, I'd like you to do this, and Gita knows she's not going to ask me to do anything that's unfair, this is my partner and I can trust her, then she's likely to listen to her very well. We'll try the holes over there. And one of the reasons why this is important, what happens if we're on a trail and we suddenly come across a stream of water? Do we want to have to get off our horse and walk through the water? What would we like to have happen? We'd like them to, or, that's one option, or what? Or walk through it, yeah. Especially if it's a really wide stream of water, we'd like them to walk through it. And there we go. He was going through the chalk holes pretty nicely. So one of them do this all that often by themselves, by choice. But the reason why we want to teach them to do this is because it helps them pay attention to us. Just like you could see the difference in how well she was paying attention to Joanne when she was at the end of the first 4 games. Well, now this is one other way. If we have a very excited horse who's really having trouble concentrating, they have to think pretty hard about where their feet are when we're asking them to go sideways and cross over. And so this is a great tool in order to be able to get them to pay attention like that. Okay, great. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Have you ever seen this before? No? Okay. So, yes, you have? Great. So we're going to want to take this